The smile on his face only wavered when he would intently listen to the questions that reporters asked him at SEC Media Days earlier this week. I'm talking about Gunnar Stockton. He's all smiles, right? And he's now officially taken the stage as Georgia's quarterback for the 2025 season. Kirby Smart still won't name him the official starter, right? He even mentioned presumed backup Ryan Puglisi a couple of times in Atlanta earlier this week. But Gunnar, man, this is about Gunnar Stockton. And this week has certainly been about quarterbacks. I think 11 of the 16 starting quarterbacks for these programs were at SEC Media Days, or are going to be, right? This thing is still rolling. I've driven back to Athens to get back to the studio to bring you more content. But Gunnar, it's his turn. And I think that we didn't learn, well, I don't think, I know, we didn't learn anything about Gunnar Stockton, the football player, at SEC Media Days, right? And that's what everybody is very critical of right now. That is what people care about. How good is Gunnar Stockton going to be as the starting quarterback for Georgia? I don't think we learned anything about that this week, right? Because how can you do that when we're all just parading around the Omni Hotel in downtown Atlanta in our suits and our fancy outfits talking to each other about football? You're not going to actually learn much about the football player. We've seen the small sample size, but I think that the country learned a little bit more about Gunnar Stockton, the person. Yes, the spotlight was shown on him a little bit down in New Orleans, where he was going to be the starting and he was the starting quarterback against Notre Dame in that loss. But there was a lot going on, the whole college football playoff, and terrorist attack, and there's just a lot going on down there, right? But now you see who he is, and now he is being shoved into the spotlight as Georgia's quarterback, and this thing is going to get rolling here in 6 to 7 weeks, roughly, right? Wherever August 30th, right? So we're about 6 weeks out from the season. I think that we learned a couple of things, and I want to discuss that a little bit further. I know I've taken a little bit longer than I usually do to get to my point here, but this is what I feel like we learned about Gunnar Stockton this week. Ryan Curley from Dawg Post. Check out dogpost.com. We've pushing out a ton of content this week. We recorded some videos for y'all, some riding homes. So stick with us here on YouTube as well for all of the latest content. Someone commented about how Dean didn't let me drive. My car, my rules, and there was a reason why we didn't drive in these riding homes. So you'll see that if you get to those videos. But this is about Gunnar Stockton. I think that we learned about consistency with Gunnar. Consistency. He's always smiling, right? This guy is, at least on the outside looking in, seems to be in a good mood, seems to have lifted spirits all the time. I think we learned there's consistency in that. We learned there's consistency within him and his teammates. And what do I mean by that? His teammates consistently root for him. His teammates are consistently backing him. It is important when you are on a team, and it doesn't have to be a sports team, right? It doesn't have to be an athletic team, but any sort of unit or team. But obviously with sports, this is what we're talking about. It's important to have each other's backs. It's important to support each other and to care for each other. I think that lends to greater success as a team. With Gunnar, I just can't, obviously I haven't done this for too long now. Half a decade is a good bit of time to cover a football program and to be in the weeds with it, but I haven't seen this type of support since Stetson Bennett. And obviously there's only been one quarterback in between Stetson Bennett and Gunnar Stockton and Carson Beck, but because people doubted Stetson, because there was some uncertainty about how good he was going to be as a starter, especially at the beginning, there was a lot of faith in Stetson. There is even more outward love and joy towards Gunnar Stockton than there was with Stetson Bennett from the team in terms of these public, and these media events and in press conference, all that. The support that they have for Gunnar is very, very strong. And I think that there's a lot of consistency there. You noticed it in Atlanta, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, in the second half of the Georgia-Texas SEC Championship game. You noticed it there, right? immediately with the crowd and with the sideline, the way they get pumped up when he had just like a 5 or 6 yard gain on a scramble run where he lowers his shoulder. The team loved it. The team went for it, and they loved that he got his opportunity. You saw it after the game. Kirby Smart tearing up. Now, there's a lot of emotions going on. It's not all about Gunnar Stockton when you are winning a game like that where it didn't feel like you're going to win at different points and you win in overtime against Texas. He's crying, talking about how much he loves Gunnar and how much Gunnar is just a gamer. Oscar Delp is his teammate and his roommate and his friend, showing that love and support post-game. And then you saw it again during the media events leading up to the Sugar Bowl. You saw all of that love and support, and they just continued to assure the media about that. And then I think you saw it in the spring in the same sentiment. And now this week, you get the same thing. It's very consistent. His teammates love him. His teammates support him. His teammates believe in him. They're excited for this opportunity. Dalen Everett told me that we've seen how he works, and now he's finally getting his time. Right, like they're like, finally. It's as if Gunnar Stockton's been waiting for this, and he has. Right, he's been sitting behind Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck for a couple years, and he was even behind Brock Vandagriff in the depth chart for a certain point of time. So I think there's consistency in his attitude, and there's consistency in the way others view him within the program. The other piece of consistency I think that you get with Gunnar is the leadership thing, the leadership quality. Kirby Smart has said multiple times, and that was something that he talked about a little bit on Tuesday this week, that Gunnar is an exemplary leader. He always works, right? He always tries to do the right thing. Gunnar has told us that. He told us that yesterday. And that it's the best way to put it. He wishes that there were more players on the team like Gunnar who are just film junkies, work junkies, just want to get better, and don't necessarily, like, they care about their role, but they don't care what their role is. All they care about is contributing to the team. So to me, there's also consistency in that, where, I don't get to watch Gunnar, where I don't watch Gunnar when he wakes up and goes to work out or whatever he does in the morning and whatever his routine is in class and all that. So this is just what we can take away from Kirby. And it's that leadership quality that he continues to talk about. Over and over, Kirby has told us his favorite thing about Gunnar Stockton is his leadership and how important that is to this program. I don't know if it's part of some game in Kirby's head and he just likes to keep people out of the loop. I don't know if Kirby just wants to keep fuel in the fire without naming Gunnar the official starting quarterback to the public. But I think it's interesting that when people ask them that and what the best thing about Gunnar is, it's the leadership, right? He won't talk about any of the physical qualities that he has as a football player, the attributes. It just goes back to, man, he's cerebral. He's this guy. Everyone just loves him. So I think there's consistency in the leadership aspect of it. I don't think that you're going to get this or that from Gunnar. You're getting the one thing, and there's the consistent aspect of it. Now, the question is, and the part that everyone cares about the most, and I understand why, because they should, and that's why we're here, is football. And it's the actual results on the field. I don't know that all those things are going to equate to results on the field. It does help. There certainly was some sort of disconnect between Carson Beck and the locker room. I don't think that you're going to get that type of disconnect with Gunnar Stockton. You will get that disconnect from the people watching this video and the Georgia fan base and college football fans in general. If he goes out on the field and just doesn't perform well and doesn't play well, there will be a disconnect. And all of a sudden, these smiles, people aren't going to think they're as contagious as much. I couldn't help myself but smile back at Gunnar when I ask him a question and he just hits you with the smile and gives you the short, soft answer. I can't help but smile, chuckle a little bit, and just say, man, I wish he told me a little bit more, but that dude just seems happy to be here. Those things will kind of go out the window for most people. So I think it's interesting. We didn't learn anything about Gunnar Stockton, the football player, but I think that we did learn a little bit more about Gunnar Stockton, the character and the person at Media Days. That's all you can really take away from it too. So I appreciate you watching this video. We're going to keep pumping out content. The season's right around the corner, and I think that you'll notice Dawg Post is going to do a better job this year. Thank you for watching.